It is time. Bullheaded debates. It is episode 7. We are that close to double digits. We're coming up at it. And every debate, if you haven't noticed, gets more and more intense. And we have some really good topics in this episode. I'm Chaz here with P Bush and Zhu, our big bullheaded debaters, lifelong friends. And like I said, every week this stuff gets more intense. We're going to go around all three big sports that we have. We have the MLB back in action, so we know we need to touch on that. The NBA is coming up, and the NFL always seems to stay relevant. So first and foremost, we're going to move on to what's been shown some Twitter beef. The first topic for today's debates is around two stud receivers, Mike Evans and Keenan Allen. Mike Evans of the Bucks, Keenan Allen of the Chargers. And the NFL rankings, the top 100 just came out. And Keenan Allen was pretty upset because he thinks he's getting no respect. He thinks he's better than Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and all these receivers. So I see a lot of laughs here. I don't know how this is going to align, but I'm going to kick it off and pose the question, who is the better receiver, Mike Evans or Keenan Allen? Who wins this Twitter beef? Zhu, you were laughing a whole lot, so why don't you kick it off?
Man. Keenan Allen, man, delusional. That's what I got to say about Keenan Allen. This dude, Mike Evans, 6'5", 230 with a 4.5, man. He's objectively a bigger athlete than him, and he's faster than him. So athleticism-wise, he's a better athlete than this guy. And, man, this dude, all this guy does is get a 1,000-yard season, man. Every single season that Mike Evans has played NFL football, he's gotten 1,000 yards. And who is his quarterback? Jameis Winston, the guy with 30 for 30 last season. Come on now. And that guy got Phillip Rivers, who's objectively a better quarterback than Jameis. Yeah. What?
Well, Phillip Rivers. All right, Phillip Rivers towards this point in his career. I mean, like, dude, you can't even compare him. I'm not saying Jameis is better. Just saying that they both have kind of had not the best of quarterback situations, but Keenan Allen has definitely had more consistency in his career. So I do agree with Zhu on the point that Mike Evans is the better wide receiver. But dude, Keenan Allen's been pretty consistent. The thing that switches for me though is his injuries, man. That's the worst part. He's had so many knee injuries. He's had ankle problems. He's had so many issues on top of Phillip Rivers oversailing him on half the throws with his short arm. But dude, Mike Evans, I mean, dude, he's one of a kind. He obviously had the one up on that Twitter beef back and forth. I think Keenan Allen may have even called out Tyreek Hill, which is he shouldn't have even crossed his mind to go there. Maybe Godwin and Evans, but dude, he's still not even in the same tier. I'd say he's a tier below. He's not a guy that I'm picking in the first or second round for fantasy.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football. Keenan Allen, he's just, he does well over the years, and I think he's a couple years older than Mike Evans. But, Mike Evans, dude, like Zhu said, he's been arguably one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league the past 5 years, just putting up monster numbers all the time. He's a guy that you can throw the ball up, and he will go and get it. And it doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball, especially with Jameis Winston throwing 30 picks a year. Man, dude, he's on another level than Keenan Allen. I don't think you can even compare him.
Yeah, this dude, Keenan Allen, he's played one more season than Mike Evans. And the brother and Mike Evans got more yards than him. He's got more touchdowns.
Way more
yards per game. Like, legitimately, every single statistic backs it up that Mike Evans is a better football player than Keenan Allen. I don't know what Keenan Allen's looking at. This guy, I don't know if he's stupid or he just got an ego. Maybe he needs some love from his fans right now because those fans in LA don't respect him. They don't got time to watch the Chargers.
I don't even think they pay attention to him half the time. Let's be honest.
I think that's why he doesn't got the attention. So he's trying to hype himself up on social media right now. He wants the love from the fans, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of that. A lot of people just trying to get attention because people aren't watching sports every day when they're tweeting about, oh, did you see Keenan Allen's catch, or you see Mike Evans go up top over two guys? You're not hearing about that right now. So they're trying to create controversy and stir up some Twitter beef in the only sports that they have, which is just an NFL top 100 players list, man. That's all they got at this point.
That list was, I don't know what you guys
It was pretty bad. It was pretty
bad.
bad.
I thought it was horrible.
I didn't like it.
Carson Wentz was in the top 100.
But Josh Allen was.
Dude, let's be honest. I mean, dude, that's just something that NFL.com or whoever puts it together is just trying to give their people something to work on. You know, they're like, all right, let's get another top 100 player list going. Dude, it's so subjective. I mean, you know, some people might want Keenan Allen that are watching this video, and that's totally fine. He's not a bad receiver. He's definitely way above average. But you can't compare him to Mike Evans, man. He's just too good. He's carried my fantasy team a couple years in a row, if I'm being honest. And
you take him this year? You take him this year?
I'd take him this year. We talked about this last week. We talked about this last.
You take him round 2?
Probably not. I'd say early round 3, if anything, if you're into like a 10, 12 team league.
Yeah.
But dude, his value did definitely go up with Tom Brady coming in. Let's all be honest. And now he can, you know, Chris Godwin is at a level where he can attract attention away from Evans and vice versa. So Keenan Allen doesn't really have that. He's kind of on his own. And I don't know. I just don't see him continuing to progress and get better throughout his career, especially with all the injuries he's had in his history. So yeah, it's for me, it's Mike Evans across the board, no matter what.
Well, that's a follow-up question I had was, does it make a difference that the best receiver that Keenan Allen really has ever played with is Mike Williams?
Or maybe Antonio Gates? Maybe.
Well, the tight ends, you know, it's a little bit different than a wideout. You're not getting covered by corners. But does it make a difference that Mike Evans is getting, you know, he has Brashad Perriman for a lot. He's got Chris Godwin. You know, does it make a difference in what you think the stats might lie in that sense?
I don't know. I think it hurts Keenan Allen's ability to get open sometimes, but he's more of a Julian Edelman type player than he is like a big. Yeah, that was what crossed my mind when I was thinking about this. I was like, but he doesn't play with a Tom Brady. You know, obviously Phillip Rivers is a good, you know, short and mid-range game passer, but not towards the tail end of his career. But Traz, I do agree with you. Like I think it puts more pressure on him to carry the team when it comes to receptions. And obviously he does get a lot of receptions, but it's harder. He has to fight for every play. And I think that's partially what's kind of hurt his, in injury sense, definitely hurt his career as well. Just all the pressure he gets all the time.
And the man's just slow, man.
He's slow.
You know me, I do not like slow receivers. Then those are the easiest guys to cover. Yeah. Slow dudes, come on. Yep. You compare yourself to Tyreek Hill. That's laughable. That's just laughable. Yes,
I don't think anybody can.
Is Tyreek Hill the best receiver in the league then?
I would rather have DeAndre Hopkins on my team. I think he's a better wide receiver. Tyreek Hill's an athlete, but I'd probably rather have DeAndre Hopkins, maybe Julio Jones.
Julio Jones, I can see. Yeah, I think objectively, he has like no weaknesses in his game.
Yeah, he really doesn't. But DeAndre Hopkins, dude, I mean, the man has like sticky hands as glove, or sticky hands. That's I don't know. When I'm watching it, I feel like he never drops a ball. I think there was one. Was it 2 years ago when he dropped like 1 or 2 passes the entire year that was catchable, considered to be catchable by NFL standards? Like, dude, those are the only 2 that I would, probably put above Tyreek Hill. But there's 3 or 4 that are all right in the same category. And then I'd say like Evans and Godwin are right below them. And then you have like the Keenan Allens, et cetera. So yeah, it's tough, but I mean, you can't go wrong with like any of those guys. I think any NFL owner or team would want one of those guys on their team.
Yeah, I don't know. Keenan Allen, he's in a different class, man. He's in the C class.
He's in
the C class, man. You're comparing to an A-class receiver. It is laughable. Like, you're a C student. You look at the numbers. They're like, man, like he's on an irrelevant team. He has an irrelevant quarterback. And he's so irrelevant, man. He's going in the 5th round of fantasy football mock drafts right now. Forget.
He shouldn't even be tweeting at anybody right now. Let's be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about Keenan Allen, man. I think we've already said it.
Well, we'll move to some more relevancy then. The NFL is the furthest away from getting back, and who even knows we're going to get a season.
I don't know. I see baseball right now.
Sewell and I discussed it on our last second covers pod earlier. Like, I don't know if we're getting football back, so we'll see. But that's the furthest away. But even closer, before we get into the in-season, even closer is the NBA. Tip-off starts in just 2 days from when we're recording this podcast.
Let's go.
And there are, like we said, 22 teams in the bubble. 8 teams, not even close enough to making it. That includes my Knicks and your guys' Bulls. We're not quite there yet. But it poses the question, you obviously have like the super teams right now. You have the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks. Of those teams, even those 3 teams, but right now, just in general, what NBA team do you guys feel needs to make at least one move, a move, to get to that championship level? So kind of more of an open-ended question, but P. Bush, why don't you kick it off? What do you think is maybe a team that needs to make just, that final splash?
Yeah. Yeah, Chaz, I think, we've talked about obviously we kind of blanketed out certain teams, Bucks, Clippers, Lakers, who are really the favorites for this year. It's pretty much going to be between those three and maybe a couple stragglers. And my pick's going to be one of those stragglers, and it's going to be the Denver Nuggets, who have been playing pretty well the past couple of years, putting themselves in good position in the West, third, fourth, fifth seed a couple years back. They just need a guy that can close it out for them, because Jokic, and we've talked about Jokic as well, but he's such a good playmaker and he fits in probably to any offense, let's be honest. But their guard play, I mean, we have Will Barton and Jamal Murray, who both good players. They're both putting up like 18 and 19 a game, I think, this year. But I think that they need a veteran guard presence who has some experience, or bring in another very talented guard who's coming off maybe their rookie contract. Some guys that crossed my mind was a guy that, might be looking for a ring, and Chris Paul. It's working relatively well with the Thunder, but he's not getting all the help that he can get to really push him to the next level. But I think if he were to play with a couple other solid guards and a great big man who can help facilitate, that could help. Or, you throw in names like a Lillard, Damian Lillard. I mean, would he want to make a move out of Portland? I doubt it. Or, you could wait for something like Donovan Mitchell down the line. But I don't think they're going to make trades for that. If anything, they would have to go for like a CP3, who's on more of a, towards the end of his career, might be willing to look to make some moves to win that championship. And he could put them in contention, especially as the Lakers continue to get older. Obviously, LeBron could go on forever, let's be honest. But I think that the Nuggets have to put themselves into position if they really want to move up to that 1 to 2 seed in the West.
Man, you love the Denver Nuggets, don't you?
Yeah.
Man? You love Nikola Jokic.
I do.
Man, that's the wrong answer. It is the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
The Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. You got the two cornerstone players, and I got the perfect fit for them. Perfect fit. This is a superstar on one of the worst franchises in NBA history. He is a two guard that gets buckets for days with a career high this year of 30 points per year.
No.
His name is Bradley Beal. If they get Bradley Beal with this, what do you mean why? Luka Doncic is a facilitator. That's his mindset. He's a point guard that is a 6'7" point guard for them.
He's a beast.
Porzingis as the beast down low with the 3-point shot. You need the wing. You need the wing bucket getter, and his name is Bradley Beal. And that would be their big three to get it done.
Stop.
Man, that's beautiful. That just sounds too beautiful to happen. What do you mean?
Porzingis, dude. All right, what has Porzingis been doing the past couple years, man? He's been injured. He's been traded. He's been all this stuff. I feel like he hasn't even
19
played.
points this year.
All right, 19 a game. He's not a star, dude. You get in another Bradley Beal, that's only going to bring his numbers down. Luka's obviously going to always be doing his stuff, man. But dude, I don't believe Kristaps. He kind of lost it for me after he left New York. I don't know if it was just he was getting in New York.
What?
Dude, he's not a superstar.
His numbers are better on the Mavericks this year.
Oh, so he's not. Doesn't mean he's going to be better if you add another superstar to the team.
He doesn't need to be better. He's going to be the third option on that team. Kristaps Porzingis is your third option. He's the better version of Kevin Love. He's a better version of Kevin Love. 7'3".
He's way bigger than Kevin Love, man.
He's a better version of Kevin Love, and that's what his role is.
He could shoot. Obviously, we know he could shoot the 3 ball. He's a beast at that. But dude, I just don't think. I mean, look at. All right, let's not look at the Mavs. Let's look at what Bradley Beal's been doing with another player who's been playing. All right, when he's by himself, he's putting up 30 a game. When John Wall's playing, nowhere near that, man. He's not doing it. So what if you give him Luka? You're going to put Luka on the same team as him. You're going to put Luka on the same team, and he's going to have to give it to Kristaps. Now, maybe he'd take a step back. I don't think Beal would do that. I don't think he would.
Luka Doncic, the Don from Slovenia.
That's a great nickname, by the way. Dude, the Mavs do need to make a move, though.
This dude made Tim Hardaway Jr. relevant. That dude was a bum on the Knicks. He went there, and he's actually relevant. He's actually started. You give him Bradley Beal? Come on.
Dude, All right, I don't think it has to do with what Luka can do with them. I think it's Bradley Beal himself what he would do with them. I don't know if he'd be.
He gets 20 easy.
Dude, he's not. He doesn't mesh well. He just doesn't mesh well with other good players, man.
He can play off the ball.
Dude, have you ever seen him play off the ball where they've actually done well besides knocking the Bulls out in 2013? That's literally all he's done. He can't even make his
dynamic duo.
Dude, Bradley Beal by himself can't even take the Wizards to the playoffs.
I don't need him. That's for Doncic, man.
Why would you want a player who can't carry a team to the East when the Magic have a shot?
He's a sidekick. I don't want my sidekick to be an A-plus type of dude that can take a franchise over. I want my sidekick to know his place, know his lane, and stay in that lane and get buckets. Luka Doncic is the A-plus player, and you got Bradley Beal being his A-minus sidekick.
I just don't think you can put such a high prolific scorer on their team because, dude, Luka puts up numbers.
Do you know what this is?
Huh.
Kyrie Irving as a sidekick for LeBron James.
Oh,
Bradley
my
Beal
God.
as a sidekick for the Don. Beautiful comparison.
No, dude.
No.
Bradley Beal's a good player, but first of all, don't compare LeBron and Kyrie to Luka and Bradley Beal. Do not do that. That is not worth the comparison.
I think Bradley Beal is a better player than Kyrie Irving.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
You'd rather have Bradley Beal than Kyrie Irving?
Have you seen that head casement in Boston? They got rid of his ass as soon as possible. And now with the Brooklyn Nets, he tried to trade half his team away. We're not good enough. I don't want that head case on my team.
Bro, you'd take Bradley Beal over Kyrie Irving?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
What do you mean that's ridiculous?
Dude, they both could not carry shitty teams. Let's be honest, all right?
Yes.
Okay. Kyrie goes out, hits a game winner in the freaking finals, man. Are you kidding me? You think Bradley Beal would hit that shot in the finals? Stop. No chance. Absolutely not. Bradley Beal's not on the level of Kyrie Irving.
LeBron power, man. He empowers Dude, if LeBron had Bradley Beal as a sidekick, they would get a title too.
Bradley Beal would probably barely even play, let's be honest.
What are you talking about?
Look, Bradley Beal's a good player. But I think the Mavericks should go for somebody else. Who else crossed your mind going to the Mavericks? Who else crossed your mind? What would be another good player? Like a Jimmy Butler? Yeah, like I'd see a Jimmy Butler working better there than a Bradley Beal.
Even an option because he loves Miami too much.
Right, exactly. Who wouldn't want to leave? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to go to arid Dallas over there. It's too dry. But dude, there's honestly not, like, if I'm being like, there's not that many players that seem to be wanting to move around that much. I mean, Giannis has been in talks.
Here's another one. Victor Oladipo.
Now that's a decent option.
If what? I'm being, like Oladipo, but not Bradley Beal.
Fitting with that team, yeah.
What are you talking? Bradley Beal.
He's a better defender. He can complement Doncic in the backcourt. He can still put up 20 points a game for you, but that's not his first mentality. He's not only looking to score. That's Bradley Beal's game, man. He's just like, give me the ball and I'm going to put 30 up a game for you.
Luka Doncic is a pass-first player. That's a perfect compliment.
Okay, sure, but Luka can also put up 30 a game if he wants to. That's like my point. Is he doesn't? So
Kyrie, Luka, and Bradley Beal. It's the same situation.
No, it's not, man.
Yes, it is.
No, Luka. First of all, Luka's not at LeBron's level yet. He could get there. He's probably the next guy. Let's be him and Giannis
right now. As a second-year player, he's on pace.
All right, 2 years. Let's be calm down, Zoo. We got a while to go. But dude, him and Giannis could be interesting.
Okay, that's just unfair.
Why would that? No, but I'm saying if Giannis is really looking to move, and he could still get paid in Dallas. I don't know if he could get paid. He'd probably get paid, but more so in Dallas than in Golden State, because I know we talked about him making that ridiculous jump to the Warriors. Man, that would just be unfair. But talk about another unfair situation. You want Giannis and Kristaps in the post together, man, with Luka giving them the ball. Dude, that would be one of the tallest teams in the league. They would dominate. They wouldn't lose.
Yeah, that team would be beautiful. You got two unicorns and the Don. Come on now. Man, that team would be too good. That's why I'm getting someone more realistic. Bradley Beal in a bad situation, and you are disrespecting this man for some unknown reason.
He's like, good. Dude, he's good. I just don't think he would fit well.
Compared to Kyrie Irving, and you're like, compared to
not.
Kyrie Irving? Why? Kyrie Irving
was
a loser on the Cavs.
Dude, Zoo, if you're looking at his stats, the quality years that he's had, the Wizards have not done well.
And Kyrie's done good without LeBron?
He's done all right. No. He did decently well in the Celtics. I mean, he's not great, But dude, he's a crybaby. I'm not talking
He
about
got injured and they made the conference finals. He got healthy and they lost in the second round.
Fair, touche. But still, at the same time, you who's more talented? Are you saying Bradley Beal is more talented than Kyrie?
He's more talented, but
you're always talking about talent.
But I'm talking about impact.
You never talk about impact.
So what are you talking about? LeBron is talented and impactful. That's why he's so great. Kyrie Irving.
We're not talking about LeBron.
By no impact, man. Dude, he's a virus, man. He infected. They cut him out, and now the Brooklyn Nets are infected. Well, look at that record with Kyrie Irving as their superstar.
Yeah, bro. Kevin Durant too. Come on, let's be honest.
He ain't playing. This year,
you'll be able to see. Once he has another good player on his team, he's happy. He's happy, man. He has another guy that can do something.
That guy never happy for some reason. I don't know why he's so happy.
You know what? Hey, he's making a lot of money, and maybe he's just tired of the game. Who knows? But, you know what? The Mavs need to make a move. The Nuggets need to make a move. And I think the Rockets need to add somebody, too, if they really want to get over that Clippers-Lakers hump. I don't want to get into who because meshing with Westbrook and Harden would be very interesting. Bringing something else,
who would fit with that team?
But they would need like a veteran, like above average big man, probably, right, just to help with their size and rebounding. But
I legitimately can't think of a single player that would.
You notice all three came out of the West. I think everyone just kind of is like, I don't know if the East needs to be touched.
I've got one question for you guys before we go to the last topic for today, because I'm genuinely curious. Last week, we talked about the Blazers making the playoffs, and they're not there yet. They obviously have Dame Dalla. They have CJ McCollum. They have Nurkic. They have Whiteside. What else do they need? They have 4 or 5 positions of starting caliber players. What do you guys think they need? How can they make the playoffs?
They need a wing. Like that, they need a wing. Like their small forward position historically just been a scrub. He's been a struggle. Like Nicholas Batum. Come on, man.
Wesley Matthews.
But Al-Farouq Aminu. Like, my Lord. Their small forward position, which I think is the most impactful position because you can play a guard and be a big man. Yeah. It's always been trash. It reminds me a lot of the Clippers back in the day with CP3. They just never got a wing position because that's the guy who's got to guard Kawhi Leonard. Got to guard LeBron James. Guard a guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So you need a guy that can defend these dudes and get buckets. And who's their small forward? Who is it?
I don't even know.
Nobody. It's a nobody. It is irrelevant because you got the unreal backcourt. Their front court is really good. So small forward, and there's just not many small forwards on the market.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Anyone that's on the market right now.
But also, would that make them better enough to win a championship? I still don't think so. Even if they were to add don't take like a stud, a borderline all-star. Who would you consider that to be? Probably I don't know, dude. That's tough. But still, dude, they're so far out of the playoffs.
Maybe like a Brandon Ingram-esque type of guy. That type of level. Like a borderline, he made it this year. That type of player, then they'll be relevant.
So you think Brandon Ingram will make the Blazers relevant?
Yes.
You think he was? Yes. They already are relevant. That's not. We're not saying that they aren't relevant.
They're not in the playoffs right now. They got to make playoffs, and then they're relevant. Because if you ain't in the playoffs, you ain't relevant.
But what if you get swept in the first round? You know, does that make you relevant? I don't think so.
If you make the playoffs in the West, in the East, that's a difference. But in the West,
touche. That's fair.
I'm giving you props. No shame losing to the LeBron James, Anthony Davis. No shame at all.
Yeah, there's no shame in that. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you could steal a game, it even helps the morale a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So thank you for indulging me on that. Just popped in my head.
Of course.
But that is important because we're moving to the sport that is here now. I know one person in particular hates it with a passion. So this will be interesting. I particularly love baseball. I grew up playing baseball, watching baseball. So I might take offense to something said here, but the question in this debate is one-liner. Is baseball boring? Is baseball boring? Is Major League Baseball boring? Oh, Zhu just went it. All right, Zhu, go first.
Dude, do you know why baseball is boring? Do you know what their target audience is? Bunch of old 50-year-olds. You know the average age of an MLB fan is 57. 57 is the age of grandpas, man. That's their favorite sport. And do you know why? Because it's slow pace. Do you know why? It's a long 3 hours. You can sit on the couch and take a nap and watch the game. And you can't miss anything. Because sometimes when they don't get buckets, they don't get points, man, you don't miss any part of the game. It's 0-0 after 8 innings. Didn't miss a thing. You didn't even need to watch anything. Nothing's happened. And that happens a lot, more than you think. When people are like, a no-hitter, that's impressive. That is boring. I want to see people hit the baseball. I want to people hit home runs.
You just don't understand the sport at all. You don't understand the sport.
I understand the sport. You guys played it young. It was fun at your little league baseball, whatever. It's a fun game when you were young, but objectively watching it as an adult at a bar, it is so boring. Man, 3 hours of just nothing can happen. 3 hours. 3 hours?
Dude.
Yes. A 3 hour game.
Dude, you're talking about, all right, look, first of all, it's not boring, it's slow. And that's a very big difference, okay? It's the only sport of the, let's call it the major four, where you cannot run out the clock as a winning team.
There's no
exactly. So you have to play every single pitch, which makes it intricate and interesting. It's very tactical. You have to think through it. It's arguably the most data analytic driven sport of anything. You've seen Moneyball. You've seen Moneyball. I'm sure you have. It's interesting. It's just that our generation is too ADD when it comes to this sport that we can't sit down and enjoy arguably one of the most passionate and oldest sports that our country has. Okay. This was 1876, man. This thing is almost 150 years old.
It never adapted. There is no evolution. You gotta evolve as a sport.
Why? If it's working,
it's a different audience. We're in an age of technology, social media. These things matter. You gotta adapt, or you're gonna die and run.
Dude, they've added a shot clock for pitches. Okay, they've added the balls and strikes aspect of it, making it more accurate and interesting. They have replay in there now. You can challenge. They've made a lot of changes in the past couple of years to make the game a little bit faster. Sure, maybe not up to your, dude, an NFL game takes so much longer than a baseball game, if we're being honest, man. But NFL is a slow game. You just happen to love it because it's more physical. They're running into each other. This is a game that people have to sit down and they analyze and they enjoy the atmosphere that it presents. It's yes. Have you ever even, how many baseball games have you been to?
You know the best one was? The hot dogs. The hot dogs at Wrigley Field were phenomenal.
You're spending time outside. It's summertime. It's the only major sport that goes through the summer. This is something that you do as a pastime. It's called America's pastime for a reason. Okay, dude, it's not. Yes, I can see how you might believe it to be boring. And like Chaz said, it's kind of a subjective question.
If you look at our generation, millennials, that's what we talk about, the generation that matters, because that's the future market. We don't care about baseball. We just don't care about it.
There's a lot of people that care about baseball, Zoo. It just so happens that they don't create all this drama.
Talk about the percentage. Yeah, the offseason, snooze fest. The regular season, was it 162 games a regular season? Is that 162 games?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because it's so not physical, because you can play like every other day, pretty much.
If you want to tell me how you feel after playing 162 baseball games, and then come back to me and I'll see what you have to say about that.
You're sitting on the bench 99% of the time, chewing bubble gum and chewing tobacco, right? Is that what they do?
Dude, do you know? All right, dude, the NBA players, bro. NBA, dude, they just barely run up and down the court half the time. They don't even try anymore, dude. They don't even try. There are a lot of sports that are more physical than baseball. That's totally fine, but that doesn't mean it's boring. It's harder. You have to decide whether or not to hit a pitch in less than a second, Zoo. That takes most people couldn't do it. You have to have a certain set of skills in order to play this game. And dude,
I never said it was not skillful.
Yeah,
I just don't want to watch.
So you have to appreciate how hard it is to play that game.
You want to watch chess on TV? You want to watch chess?
I've watched multiple people play chess. Yes, it's very interesting because you play it out. You have to try and predict the move. It's so fun to watch baseball when you're like, okay, he's going to try and put it on the outside corner because this guy can't hit it there. They have to know every single scouting report, what pitches they like, where they do or do not like it. It's something that you just have to sit down and appreciate, and some people can't do it, so I'm not going to hate on them for that. But you have to realize why people enjoy it. And dude, it's arguably the sport that most kids play. So I don't care if the average age is 57. People still love the game and always will.
Still will? Do our generation's forgetting about it?
Clearly not. They're making more money than ever.
They're making, man, you want to talk about right now?
Mookie Betts?
They need to get their stuff together right now. They got shut down after like 2 games, right?
2 teams.
They got no bubble
league.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
2 irrelevant teams: Miami Marlins and Philadelphia Phillies, who you probably wouldn't have been even able to name.
Nope,
but it's
not at all.
They're gone.
Irrelevant. Because it's a relevant sport. Like I said, 57. That's their average age. But they're baby boomers, man.
Dude, all right, first of all, let's be honest. Half the time, our generation doesn't watch it on cable. We stream it. So you're not showing up on any of the viewership on the NBA or the NFL or any of that. So I don't know if I fully look at that and trust that with our generation because most people don't even have cable at our age. You really can't put that metric down there. So yeah, the most people that have cable are probably aged 35 and over, right? Maybe 40. So you can't even use that metric, man. Is that the only stat you had?
The only stat?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's a beautiful stat.
I explained to you how the game works.
I'll give you a comparison. In 2000, do you know what the average age was? 50. Now it's 57.
Why is that?
20 years. Because
why?
The younger fans are like, nah,
streaming.
There's better options out there. There's better options out there.
Streaming.
Yeah.
That's the number one. That's why viewership has increased because all the lower generation isn't watching it on MLB Network or ESPN anymore. They're watching it just through Reddit.
Even if you just look at social media references, like there's no baseball highlights on social media. Come on now. It's all dominated by NFL and basketball. Absolutely.
Because they don't need the spotlight all the time, man. They don't care. They just play the game. No, they don't. They're getting paid, man.
Attention is money, and they lack the attention online.
Dude, there's so many. Dude, there's no salary cap in. I mean, yes, there are a lot of the baseball players that make a ton of money. They do a lot of commercial. Mike Trout, Kershaw, all those guys. Dude, Mookie Betts just signed like a $390 million deal. That is a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money for a sport that they can play likely their entire career, barring major injuries for like a pitcher or something, right?
Oh, great career. Great. It's a
great career. Yeah, and it's long.
But it's a boring sport.
There is no other sport that has fan bases that will stick around for 100 years while their team doesn't win anything.
That just sounds like a big waste of time.
It's the Chicago Cubs.
I know, a big waste of time.
Yeah, well, the Bulls are on their way, man. They're almost at the quarter century mark, so you better watch out.
75 more years to get a title. Don't compare us.
That's what the Cubs said.
Don't compare us to the Cubbies.
I'm just saying, man. It's not a boring sport. It's a slow sport, but it's very intricate, detailed, and very interesting if you're willing to put the time in.
Put the time in. You think our generation wants to put the time in? I want to watch something. I want to be entertained after a long day of work. I don't want to analyze this.
Hey, it might be good for you because it might put you right to sleep.
That is true.
So maybe you should give it a shot, and maybe you'll pick something up and learn about it.
Lord, I don't get it. I try to watch some baseball highlights. MLB just started. Man, I might as well just study my CPA exam. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my time. Just not worth it.
Zhu, I'm giving you homework. You are assigned to watch one Cubs game between this recording and next, and you're going to report your findings on the next episode.
Please do.
Baseball's so boring.
Oh my god.
It's so slow. The game is so long. All the commercial breaks between innings. Oh my Lord. 9 innings? There's no urgency.
It's not that bad.
People are just like,
that's kind of the point, Zhu.
Oh my Lord, just hit the ball, please. Give me some action.
That's kind of the point
about hitting. It is proven, like, physically impossible to hit a baseball. And yet they do it 30% of the time.
What do you mean physically impossible?
Between the time it's released from the mound and the velocity it's going to where it is in the catcher's mitt, you have 0.2 seconds to react and time it and hit. And
I never said it wasn't skillful. These guys are very talented, but it's boring, man.
To you?
To a lot of people, not just me. A high percentage of our generation
How
thinks
can you say
baseball is boring.
Let's do a poll. I want to do a poll on people. Let's do a decent sample size, and we're going to see how many people will be willing to sit down and watch one baseball game.
Full game. Full game.
I guarantee most people would say that they would.
They would have to pay me to go to Wrigley Field.
Dang.
Really?
Yes.
Dang, dude. That's a heavy statement.
And the reason why? For the hot dogs.
Oh,
Because
my
all I remember
God.
was I was in like 5th grade. We went to a baseball game for whatever field trip. All I remember was phenomenal hot dogs, and they lost by like 10 points or something. This is a boring
Points.
game.
10 runs.
10 runs. 10
Yeah,
runs.
I think the discussion should end right there.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. All right, Zoo, you have homework. Until then, guys, I've been chatting with P Bush and Zhu on Bullheaded, episode 7 of season 1. If you checked us out on the live stream, you may have noticed it was a little bit early, Tuesday rather than Thursday. Next week, we're going to get back on that Thursday track. So if you did check us out on that live stream, please just be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel here so you stay up to date on all the live streams that we have. And if you checked us out on Pod, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast, you name a podcasting platform, we're there. So as long as you listen on any of those platforms, all we ask is you please just drop a 5-star review and comment something you liked about this episode and the show as a whole so we know what to continue moving forward with as we continue putting out more episodes. So, guys, we touched on all those big major sports. Not hockey, but who cares? So we'll be back next Thursday to record and coming out again next Monday. Guys, thank you for listening. Stay safe. We will talk to you next week.